Beep, 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 beep. Hey up, 'tis I, E.D.I. Chester. How are we all? Deboosted, 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 deboosted. Nobody can see me. Nobody's tweeting any of my stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm practically given up at this point. Right, look, the most important thing at the moment, and I need your help with this, is to get the new folks for the Warrior Teacher Programme in January. This is the key thing that I do. I know this is fun. You know, and I know many of you find it enjoyable and useful. I'm really grateful that you do, because the work matters to me. But the most important thing is the winning mindset. So there's adverts, you're going to see adverts going up. If you see it, please quote tweet it. Will you all retweet it? Because I just can't seem to get seen by anybody at the moment. I don't know why. So let's get back down to the madness of the world in which we live. Hang on, I've got to get me tea, right? One needs one's tea at this time of the silly o'clock in the morning. Okay, so what's been going on? Well, you know, why have we got a bloke leading up an endometriosis clinic? A charity that for endometriosis. I can't even say it, let alone run it, right? What's the... Talk about tone deaf, right? Tone deaf, culturally tone deaf. That's what these bloody people are. And they're rightly getting a kicking, and I hope so too, because it's an embarrassment for them. It's an embarrassment for them. It's just beyond the pale that they think that that's okay. It's not okay. Now, you know, if the bloke was coming in as specialist in organisational development or specialist in whatever it may be, and was bringing something to the game that was really useful to the charity, who'd give a toss. Except he's not. He's a well-known baiter of women. He's a well-known individual for having stuff to say about stuff that's got nothing to do with him. He's a well-known LARPer. And the endometriosis charity thought this was a good idea. I don't know why. You explain to me, because I'm bugging if I know. I really am. I don't know. What the hell are they thinking about? Well, they weren't thinking, were they? That's the whole point. And some of his past witterings, I think the Charity Commission should have a look at. Well, that's the first thing. What? It's just the madness of it all. The second thing is, I don't know whether you've seen it, but James Lindsay had a bit of a meltdown. A bit. I don't know what's happened with these guys. They've got a bit, you know, funny, right? And he does his sabre thing in the garden because he loves his, you know, he's like a Darth Vader thing going on. And then Kenny J. Keane did the same thing on a show. She had a lightsaber. I was like, oh my God, that's great. And there she was, giving it all this. I was like, yep, that. So I started calling her Posey Wan Kenobi. Posey Wan Kenobi, okay? That's the second thing today. It just keeps going, doesn't it? Whatever we do, it just keeps going. This monstrous machine keeps rolling forward, whatever we attempt to do about it. The third thing is the Tory party's just given away the election. What the hell do they think they're doing? The hell do they think they're doing? But they've got Esther McVeigh. Now, I haven't done much work on Esther, though I think she's pretty strong on reality, Esther, but we'll see what happens. As a Minister for Common Sense, can you believe we need that? There was a joke years ago when I was a kid, and people used to say, a statement has been produced by the opposition that there are far too many ministers. And then it would cut to the guy who was saying this. I'm absolutely concerned about the number of ministers that are operating in this, and we really need to get rid of the ministers we've got because there's far too many of us. And the newsreader said that, thank you very much. We'd like to thank the Minister for Steak and Kidney Pudding for his comments. Right? Minister for Common Sense. We've lost the damn plot, haven't we? Minister for Common Sense. Right? That's what wokery does, see. Makes everybody mental. Minister for Common Sense. So, Posey Parker, right? Minister for Common Sense. LARPing bloke at the endometriosis charity. Just when you think it couldn't get any better, the world keeps pummeling on, right? So I've got an interesting one for you to go with all those three things that we know have happened in the last few days. And it concerns a hospital. A hospital. Okay, right? I've seen a few of those lately, right? A hospital. It's rather good. So I think one needs to read between the lines in regards to this issue, which appeared in Varsity magazine on November the 10th, right? And it's in regards to Cambridge University hospitals are staffed by bigots and sexists. Right? That's what it says. Cambridge University Hospital's NHS Foundation Trust has failed to qualify for an award in the NHS Rainbow Badge Assessment Scheme after reported sexism and homophobia. Right? They've been described the CUH, Cambridge University Hospital, they've been described by staff as containing a loud minority of bigots and sexist staff in an internal report seen by Varsity. Staff feedback collected for the report noted that other staff regularly made un-PC comments. That's interesting, un-PC. They mean by that political correctness, which originated, by the way, in communist Russia, in order to obfuscate the truth. Political correctness is a communist idea, just so you know, all right? Yes, you can go check me out if you like. So they didn't have to deal with the truth. Politically correct. Well, it's politically correct, right? Rather than being actually correct. That's what political correctness is. So the other staff regularly made un-PC comments, particularly regarding trans staff. Oh, did they? Right. You mean men. Or women who are LARPing. That's who they mean. With one gay male member of staff saying he occasionally felt slightly uncomfortable at the questions or comments my colleagues have made. Gosh, that's still, no. As if a hospital was not dealing with serious enough stuff that they have to deal with something like that he was made slightly uncomfortable. Yes, right. The Cambridge University, right, the CUH NHS Rainbow Badge Assessment. Here we go. It's another boondoggle, folks. It's Stonewall 2, which Varsity obtained through an FOI, Freedom of Information request, revealed that CUH scored 0 on 2 of the assessment areas and had an overall score of 41 out of 165. Go, Cambridge Hospital! I think we should maybe garner its success by the lower the number. That's the way to do it. The CUH Trust runs Cambridge's 2 hospitals. That's Addenbrooke's and Rosie Hospital. Now, I've seen in the Twitter comments about this and other things that actually they're both very good hospitals. And that people have had dealings with them and were praising them and saying, well, hang on a minute, these are really good hospitals. And they're going to condemn them because of some crap the Rainbow Badge Assessment Gibbons have decided is wrong. Okay. The Rainbow Badge Assessment is the second phase of the NHS Rainbow Badge scheme. So it's the second part of the infiltration by mad wokesters into this particular service. The initial scheme was focused on providing basic education to staff on LGBT plus inclusion. What basic education do you need to know how to include me? I walk in the door, I would suggest you'd have a problem excluding me. Once I get there, I'm there, right? It's nonsense. If they signed up for the project, they could help get this LGBT inclusion up. The second phase, launched in 2021, moved the scheme to an assessment and accreditation model. Sounds similar? So when Stonewall was getting a bash in and was falling, when it needs to fall much harder, in 2021, they were busily doing this NHS. So they were busy building another one, just going, when that one's gone, we'll just get them to take this one. I did a video about it at the time. It's out of the frying pan into the fire. Right? CUH failed to qualify for an award, only receiving silver in one assessment area and bronze in 2. I don't care, nor should they. About any of it. The trust was instead labelled at being an initial stage rather than qualifying for a bronze rating. Staff criticised the handling of the discrimination by the trust, which one respondent saying they have seen homophobia from staff and patients they have seen homophobia from staff and patients allowed to happen without consequences. What are you going to do to the patients? Stop treating them? Or tell them off like children? What are you going to do precisely? Tell us, eh? Another said, examples of sexism and homophobia raised with management have been met with, but he's a good surgeon. Yeah, right, good. So you're going to sacrifice a surgeon to the woke? Are we? You know, this is rubber hit the road, isn't it? Rubber hits the road. Right, he's not particularly nice about LGBT people. Yeah, but he's a brilliant surgeon. All right. I bet he's not even homophobic. I'll put money on it. It's the T in it. It's the TQ. It's the loons. The assessment revealed that the trust doesn't systematically monitor LGBT plus related complaints. Why would they? A complaint is a complaint. See? They got to split. Oh, we're special. We need special treatment. Right? They didn't do LGBT related complaints made by patients, nor does it identify and act on any LGBT plus inclusion issue raised at exit interviews or on exit surveys. Well, if they're raising them on exit, it sounds to me like you're getting rid of the right people. LGBT inclusion issues. Oh, sod off. This has nothing to do with LGB. I'll put money on it. Read between the lines. It's the bloody TQ plus nutters. Right? The staff survey revealed controversy among the assessment about the assessment among staff, with one calling the rainbow badges performative. Well said. Find that person and give them an award. while another called the scheme mindless virtue signalling. I want those two at my dinner table, right? Others expressed their concern about the influence of the Rainbow Badge scheme on the trust. Oh yes, right, because this is just Stonewall Mark II. One staff response to the assessment said, I am gravely concerned about the influence on the NHS of organisations like Mermaids and Stonewall. Another staff member said that they are concerned that this has now come to Addenbrooke's. Staff expressed their opinions on the scheme with the encouragement of inclusive language within the trust. One commented, isn't it dangerous for the NHS to start eroding normal language? Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. There's another one. That's 3 at the dinner table. We'd have to change the booking. Some staff used the survey to complain about the scheme, one saying, stop imposing on me. Yes! And the other commenting that LGB staff should not be subsumed by the T. Here we go, right? So they're saying LGBT, but it's a T in it. It's a T. Go on, tell me it's a T. Is it a T? It's a T. It's a T. Tell me it's the T. It's the loons. So they said one member of staff expressed their own views on the LGBT plus LGBTQ plus inclusive policy. One member of staff said they can't even state a simple and undeniable biological fact that there are only 2 genders. They continue by saying that the LGBT community is riddled with phobias and is the most discriminatory and intolerant community that I've encountered. Remember here, folks, LGBT, nothing to do with being gay, bisexual or lesbian, right? LGBT is a cultural and political conglomerate, right? They've got nothing to do with being gay, lesbian or bisexual. They're all about the D, right? The hospital scored, the trust scored 0 on the patient survey and the services survey, which makes up 93 marks of the total of 165. The trust was found not to have enough LGBT plus inclusive posters visible to patients. Oh, just get in the bin. And only 5% of patient respondents were asked their pronouns when receiving care. Can you imagine you've got some doctor got his finger up your back passage, prodding your prostrate, and you look over and it's got trans rights to human rights on the wall. You're just like, yeah, right, okay. Get these. I want the posters down. Shouldn't be a poster up. Should be no posters up saying this nonsense. Right? So, no posters, right? And only 5% of patient respondents were asked their pronouns when receiving care. You ask my pronouns, I'm going to put in a complaint. You show fealty to a child medicalising and sterilising belief system. You show fealty to a homophobic belief system, I'm going to put in a complaint. If I see a rainbow lanyard, I'm going to put in a complaint. Right? So less than 50% of patient respondents were asked to confirm their gender, sexual orientation and any trans history they may have when they received care. That's because all 3 of them are generally irrelevant. There is no relevance to these things. They have no. It doesn't. If your gender and your trans history has got nothing to do with when you go in and say, actually, I think I might have broke my arm, or actually, I've got a problem with my stomach. It's got nothing to do. You're immaterial. You're a human, right? Now, the one area that could do with some work is ensuring that we focus a bit more on what the difference is between men and women medically, so that we can look at how women require stuff. That's the big difference. It's got nothing to do with trans history. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? What nonsense, you morons. They also scored 0 for the services component of the assessment, which examined the gynecological, maternity, perinatal, laboratory, pathology, oncology and fertility units. God, that's good. I like that. I like that flows. The gynecology, maternity, perinatal, laboratory, pathology, oncology and fertility units. I am a very model. Right, so however, only one of these services actually responded to the survey, resulting in the year 0 score. Yes! That's how you do it. You just ignore them. Off your pop, no more surveys. A CUH spokesperson said that the result of the report are being used with the LGBT staff network to support our refreshed LGBT action plan and overall EDI plan. Get these money-grabbing grifters out. That's what I say. We're paying for this, the public, we're paying for this. Since 2017, we have commissioned the Kite Trust to provide regular LGBT plus awareness training. There's nothing you need to know. I like a bit of knob. Right, okay, what's the problem here? Right, the reason they think you need the training is because they think because the actually the nutters are like a separate species. You have to understand them and don't feed the nutters. We have 12,500 staff, but this survey, opened during 4 weeks in May and June, had a low response rate as it was a time of industrial action and operational pressures. No, I'll say I think it's because people are fed up with you. Don't want to be bothered with your nonsense. They concluded, all forms of discrimination, harassment and victimisation will not be tolerated. Why? Why? All right, discrimination is an important thing. I want to discriminate between stuff. Right, so you should take that out. All forms of harassment and victimisation will not be tolerated. Yeah, but you think victimisation is like calling somebody a twat, don't you? You think victimisation is refusing to believe their fantasies. The assessment had 331 staff respondents and 74 patient respondents. There are 12,500 staff. I suggest that you just simply stop doing this because it's a waste of money. Go and have a look, see what you think. Right, how much are we paying them? How much are we paying them? That's what I want to know. How much is being spent on this bloody rubbish and how do we stop them from doing it? 331 respondents from 12,500 staff. For the love of God. Right? What is that? How much is that? It's not 10%, is it? Because that's like 1,250. So it's about 2.5%. You shouldn't be doing anything based on what 2.5% of the staff say. Cut your nonsense, stop your wibbling, get this Rainbow Badge Award Stonewall Mark II scheme out of hospital trusts and fire people who are pushing this crap. I'll see you later. Goodbye.